Love it. So welcome everybody. This is Denise Hansard.
And Dixie Bennett, and we're here to share with you about our women's retreat coming up in Utah in March 2018 called the Whole Soul Women's Retreat.
Yes. We're going to talk over each other, guys. That's just the way it is, but we'll keep it succinct and try not to do that too much. But I wanted to kind of just introduce you to the idea of why do you retreat? Because, as in a sense, retreat really means to kind of escape, to run away. And you can always say, I'm retreating from the world, I'm retreating from my life, and what does that really mean for you? Well, when Dixie and I decided to do this together, we wanted to make it such that the word retreat meant a positiveness, a way that you can reconnect with your soul, come back to you, to take that time for reconnection, to awaken up, to become alive again, for rejuvenation, to really, if you're escaping in some way, shape, or form, it's not about running away from, it's really running to you. And that's the essence of what this retreat is about, of the whole soul. It's running back to who you are and really just that awakening up, that intuitive voice, that soul that you have within you. That's maybe been a little chaotic, I guess you could say, a little pain that's been going on in 2017. It's been a very interesting year of 2017. So before I go into that, Dixie, anything on the retreat aspect of it? Because this is what we really wanted to do.
Yeah, I think, I was thinking a lot about this too. And I know, I guess just hearing some of the things, what people are saying, we'll get into some of the questions later. But I was thinking about this morning as I was getting ready and coming to the office is, the most success I've had, and I haven't told you yet this, Denise, but, I just had my year end with my accountant, and the last 2 years, my numbers were almost identical, but I was so different. And it's because I've allowed myself to retreat more and to play more. And, Denise and I will talk a little bit about how we met a little bit later on, which was at a retreat. But it's the more I expand myself and the more that I play, the more business that I generate. And, I think that's the most important thing is the more I've invested in myself in retreats, the more I've actually expanded in my business. And that's, Denise and I are here today to share this. And other business opportunities. And my family and friends have extended internationally because of the retreats that I've gone on. And these people become my soul family, right? They become my extended family because we share such an intimate time together.
Definitely.
And that's why it's so, so important that we do invest in ourselves, because it's, as coaches, we know this, we need to do the inner work, which also represents the outer work. And to me, that's really what retreats are. It's a time to really unplug and to do something different.
Definitely.
And that's really, for me, what 2018 is. 2018 is about expansion, for me personally, and I look at it for so many other people. But if there's one thing that you could do different in your year, in your planning, I think, if you looked at adding a retreat, a personal retreat,
yes,
that would be like the most valuable thing that you could invest in your business, in your life, and in yourself. Yeah. And you don't have to be a business owner to do this, but it's, whether it's your career, whether it's you're at a turning point in your life, whether you are a business owner and you just really need to unplug to recharge because, sometimes we're afraid to take our foot off the gas, but it's not, it's not about taking your foot off the gas. It's actually almost driving in a different direction.
Yeah.
And we get to see a different view. So to me, that's really why we need the time to retreat.
Yeah.
It's a powerful investment in yourself.
It is. And I want to just kind of go with that, and especially in what you said about the play. Mm-hmm. There's so many times, and I know you hear it all the time, also from just friends, family, etc., is I don't have enough time, not just time for yourself, but time in general. And when we don't take and put ourselves first, we don't know how to give to others. And play is one of those factors in which we can learn the process of self-care, mindfulness, becoming back to yourself. I hear so many women, and I just had this conversation right before I left to go to Atlanta for Christmas with a friend of mine, and she goes, Denise, I don't know about you, but I've just been waking up probably for the last month or so feeling anxious. And she said, it's not that I'm not, it's not stopping me from doing anything. It's just that underlying, I guess you can say, fear. And these were her words. She said, fear of what's going to happen next. She said, I just couldn't quite get there. And I know you and I've talked about it. But when someone, and this may be you, I'm talking to our group, it could be the fact that you're feeling a little anxious, a little unnerved. Okay. And that's really an indication that you're ready to take a step into something more. It's that great opportunity to grow. I know that you and I have talked about this, and I know for myself, every time there's an opportunity or a chance for me to grow, I start feeling this anxiousness, I guess you could say, the energy of do I, don't I, kind of wobbling between the two. And over the years, I have learned that the more that I am connected with myself internally, that voice of intuition, that voice of knowingness, the gut feeling has allowed me to take great steps in change, almost to the point where I love change, because I know that I'm growing to a different step. And so with her, with her anxiousness and everything, and just the overall change that's going on in the universe that we've seen. We saw it in the weather patterns, the fires in Canada, in California, the hurricanes. Now we're seeing it in the deep, deep cold and frigidness and the snowstorms. And that's just the way that Mother Earth takes care of herself to say, I'm growing, I'm changing. Let's shake it up, and that's everything that's been going on. So with this anxiousness, sometimes it shows up for people in being very terse moments in their life, whether they're saying something to someone that comes across kind of short, or they've got a terse tone in their emails or their phone calls. And it's these moments that we look at that we want to go, whoa, is this who I really want to be? And so it kind of goes back to, is this the right thing for you in the way of a retreat? Because then you can reconnect with yourself, take time out to say, I'm important enough to have this time for myself so that I can be more for others in my life, for my business, for personal life, for anything along those lines. And play is part of that with it, with the retreat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think too, looking at, over the last couple of years for myself personally, even going back, I ended up really sick, I think in 2015. I was in my third year of business, and I ended up with pneumonia. And, it took pneumonia for me to really kind of slow down, because I was doing a lot. I was, actively building my business, networking, going to multiple functions a day, and pushing in my business. I was really pushing, and we need to do that. We need to have the pushing energy. But I was pushing too much, to the point where I was just overwhelmed and fatigued, to the point of sickness. Yeah. The gift that I had in that sickness was I really learned how to balance, right, in being and doing. And it was such a cool time, because I was really afraid to take my foot off the gas. And that's what I hear from a lot of people. Well, I don't want to stop, because if I stop, then, I'm going to lose momentum.
Right.
And it took that realization for me that I took my foot off the gas. And I still had clients calling me, new clients. And I told them, I'm really sorry, but I'm sick right now. I don't know when I'm going to come back to work, because I needed that time to take care of myself. And they said, well, that's okay, Dixie, I'll wait for you.
Exactly. And you
so
know what?
Was huge to me as a reminder to say, wow, okay, I really am on track. I really am on purpose, and my clients are there waiting for me. And that really gave me the time to really nourish myself, to take care of myself, and to come back even stronger. So I really took that time to, and in that discovery time too, because things had to slow down for me. And I really was able to look at things from more of a spiritual. I was looking, for the different messages that we get. And I was really taught the lesson of how to be and do at the same time.
Yeah.
And just being, and that's what we need to do. We need to unplug in order to expand our business and to expand ourselves in our knowing.
Right. Yeah, because I was going to say for you, it was not only did you see the impact to your business, I think you also saw it to the impact of your personal life.
Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know for me at the same time. And this is what I tell my clients is, guys, you only have one life. Mm-hmm. It's not that you have a professional life and a personal life. You have one life. And how do you be in that one life? Mm-hmm. Because we're constantly doing. And it's almost like we're that hamster on a wheel, feeling as if we're doing so much and never really getting any place sometimes, to the point where we have to, just like you said, slow down and learn to be in the moment so you can make a choice on the direction that you're going to go. Oh, and we could talk ages about this, but let's talk about how we met and why that was really important for us and kind of where we're going, and then we can open it up for questions or answer some of the questions that I know you've gotten and some that I've gotten.
Let's introduce ourselves a little bit too. So, I think, something you'd like to know perhaps, as we're talking to different, my clients, your clients, and many other people who might be interested here. So my name's Dixie, and I'm from Canada. So I'm typically the token Canadian in many of my circles, especially more international. And I own a healing center called Still Point Body Works in Calgary, Canada. And I left my corporate career actually this February will be exactly 6 years ago. And my business started very part-time. And, and I think that's a huge milestone. I'm very excited that, I can say this, it's 6 years full time, which is a dream for lots of people. And I'm living it out in so many different ways. And, I blend the art of, I'm an energy healer, so I do cranial sacral therapy, Bowen therapy. I'm a Reiki master and teacher, but I also blend it with the beautiful art of coaching, which comes together so nicely. And, I call myself a masterful healer for healers and leaders, because as I started my business, I was doing lots and lots of networking, and most of my clients ended up being leaders. And a couple of the things that almost everybody was talking about was money and clients. How do I get more money? And where do I find my clients? And so I started educating on the topic of abundance. And, that really shifted my practice and business in a really powerful way, looking at body wisdom and business growth. And so that's what I've been mostly educating internationally, on radio shows and telesummits and speaking, and I've got a couple books out as well. So, it's just that I'm very passionate about what I'm doing and teaching people that they can have it all. And that really is the gift for women, is that we really can have it all. But we get to build and design our life or our business around the life that we actually want to create for ourselves. It's not created for us. We actually get to make choices on how to create it. How do we want to live in our life? And we talked about that being and doing. And I love Denise's title, the life architect. So I'll let Denise introduce herself a little bit there as well.
Great. Thanks, Dixie. And yes, I am Denise Hansard. I didn't realize that we were on the same path, but I'm ending my 6th year also. in
Awesome.
my business. I know, it's like, woohoo!
That's so cool.
And it's great. But I call myself a life architect. And let me tell you why. I just made a comment before about how you have one life and you get to design it from the inside out, from your heart, and not so much your head. Now, I grew up in Georgia, down south in Atlanta. And I am that girl raised in the South, and I'm going to tell you stories, and those stories are going to have a point. And I'm going to make you laugh because you want to have fun and you want to be able to release. But I am that transformational life coach. I have a master's in counseling. I have 20 years in the corporate world where I taught executives and salespeople how to own the value of their pricing because I have a certification in pricing. And now I have my certification in life coaching. So it's as I tell my clients, I said, I'm not your therapist, even though I may give you a little bit of therapeutic work, and I love you, but I'm not going to keep you forever because I am going to help you design the life that you love and give you the tools and techniques of which to implement that into any aspect of your life. And I absolutely love it. I'm like Dixie, I have a published book, Suffering and Comfort. And then I have several other books that I am part of an anthology of coaches. I have a certification in the sacred money archetype, also the sacred branding archetype. I help people in transition, whether it is starting their own business or moving up in a career or a transition in life or a transition just within themselves wanting to grow, reconnecting the heart and the head so that you have both together and are not just stuck in your head in the fear and the ego of the stories of the past. I help you design your life, so that's what it's really about. And I do it through speaking, coaching, workshops, retreats. Love my retreats. So there we go. That's who I am. Thank you.
Cool. And so how Denise and I met actually was on a retreat, as I mentioned earlier, which was 2 years ago. And, we were in Denver, Colorado, and, how we actually connected with each other before we even got to the retreat. And I'm not sure if it was in I think it was the Facebook group.
Facebook, yeah.
And we just connected, and we both came in a little bit earlier before the retreat. Mm-hmm. So we stayed in touch, and we called each other's hotel rooms and ended up going for dinner. Yep. And we walked, we were right kind of downtown Colorado. And so when we connected, we went, and as we were walking through the downtown, it was really quite creative. There was a lot of arts and a lot of kind of fun opportunities to play, right? And so there were these spiral chairs. Do you remember the chairs?
I totally do. Yeah. Orange. They were orange.
Those orange chairs, yeah. So they were spiral. They were a 360 spinning chair. And so we both took turns doing it. And it was absolutely a really kind of life-changing moment of just really letting go and leaning in, because you had to lean into this chair.
Yes.
And it was actually a freedom, it was to lean in, lay back, and just to actually let yourself go. And we did this full spin, and we took videos of each other, and we had a really great time. I think we had a third person there with us as well. Yes. And so that was kind of the start to our retreat. The retreat hadn't even begun yet, and yet the retreat started,
yes,
before we got there.
Yeah, it started with us playing and connecting with each other, and then that just kind of set the tone for the rest of that. It was a long weekend. Mm-hmm. And even after that, as you can see, Dixie's in Canada. I do live in Illinois at this time, outside of Chicago. We just love the beauty behind Skype and Zoom and everything, and just have always been on Facebook together, but we held on to that connection. Mm-hmm. Because guys, when you do make these type of connections that are like-minded people, spirit walkers, I guess you could say, with each other through this life, you hold on to it and you make it happen for each other. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, that was definitely with Dixie, and how we've stayed connected over the past 2 years, and how we've evolved in our journey to where we are today. Mm-hmm. And I know that for this retreat, that's what we want to do, is to be able to bring like-minded women together. You won't know each other in the beginning, but you will have a lifelong friend at the end of this week with this retreat. Because that's what's happened every time I've done one, and I adore Dixie, as you can see. And we just connect. Exactly. And we connect. We understand each other. Some people might say, oh, you both do a similar thing. Yes, we do. But it's so cohesive together in that our voices come together in a very unique way of the work that we do in a healing process and helping people to really heal from the inside out, honor their voice, understand their intuition, and know how to connect at that level so that you are taking it up a level in the growth area with everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, over time, much of my work is now more geared towards soul work. And the people that I connect with are definitely my soul family, my soul sisters, my soul connections. And, this is the work that excites me because it shows up in our business, in our life, in our relationships.
Yep.
And when we really go into the inner work, the soul work, our businesses, our life cannot help but expand because it's a direct mirror of the work we've done on the inside that we then go forward and can make more clear, concise, and even strategic decisions, and different opportunities present themselves. And even from the retreat that Denise and I were on, I've stayed in touch with some of the other members as well. And we've had other business partnerships that have evolved. And it didn't happen right away, but it's happened over time.
Yes. And it's making that choice. Because anytime you make a choice, and it really doesn't matter what the choice is, it can be a yes or it can be a no. But making the choice alone gives you the freedom to allow things to come into you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So why don't we get into a few of the Q&As that people have sent?
So we'll just go through some of the questions that I think people have been asking. And I know one of the big ones that Denise and I kind of talked about in one of our conversations is, being, for women who are workaholics, I don't really want to take my foot off the gas. And I kind of mentioned this earlier.
Yes.
Is, I don't know how to stop. Or I hear this from a lot of people too, is I just don't know how to relax, right? I need to still be doing something, but it's also doing something in a different way. It's kind of slowing down and, but it's slowing down in a way that's rejuvenating to the soul, but it doesn't mean that you're not doing anything at all. And, that's part of the retreat is, we're not going to be stuck in a classroom the entire time. It is a very experiential experience. So we are going to be doing things every single day with learnings and lessons that are working on our inner self. And the other part is that, when you take your foot off the gas, you're not going Mach 100, right? You're not going 110 miles an hour. You're actually slowing down and taking in your surroundings. So you can actually expand out your vision. And that's where my work for 2018 is about expanded. It's about expanded business, expanded view, expanded vision. And that's my goal, is to help people kind of slow down and to be able to see a bigger vision for themselves. And instead of in that tunnel vision where you're going so fast that you can't even see what's around you. And so it's just releasing the struggle, right? Just letting go just a little bit, but you're not actually, not doing anything and stopping. It's actually going to enhance your life in so many ways that are intangible, really, in this moment.
Yeah. And I want to add to that for a little bit, if you don't mind, because it is about slowing down to have the clarity of what's inside of you. We all have the knowingness of where our life is to go. It's about understanding how to begin to hear that voice within you. And that's what this week will do for you as Dixie and I take you through the experiences, the techniques, the tools that you are going to not only implement a part of it in this week, but you'll learn how to take that further into your life. It's not like, oh, let's come for a week long and let's have this great experience and then boom, Monday, Tuesday comes when you get back home and it's like, oh my God, what's going on? No, we're going to help you to understand how you can put this into your everyday life, because that's what it's really about. Is that connection with yourself, having the clarity, hearing your voice, healing from the inside out. And that's why we chose Red Mountain Resort, because of the earthiness of it and the connection with nature. I think everybody has a knowing that they have to be grounded in some way, and nature is a great way in which to do that. And this is, it was just, we had many different options, and Dixie and I both said, that's it. That's the one.
That was the one. I didn't even look at the other ones. I'm like, nope, that's the one.
Exactly. So it is about kind of that whole clarity and vision and opening yourself up, allowing. And I think I want to interject on that, because I've heard some other people go, oh my God, I don't have the time, which is kind of what you're saying. And yet, to clarify or to really reinforce, if you don't take the time for yourself to determine where you're going, you're only going to stay stuck looking in your rear view mirror.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So,
well, and I think too, one of the things that we wanted to do a little bit different with this retreat as well is we're not tied to a classroom. So we'll be out on the land, right?
Yes.
So, and it's not about any fitness levels. It's not about, it's just about reconnecting to yourself through nature, through the healing red rocks. And part of the component, I mentioned the soul work earlier, but it's the integration of what I call soul walks. And when we do walking, it's a mindful connection. It's not about, getting in the miles. It's not,
not about taking all the pictures, even though there will be pictures taken.
Absolutely. But it's actually about seeing how nature is a direct reflection. There's a lot of learning and a lot of expansiveness in learning spirituality, connecting back to yourself through whatever the land has to teach you.
Right.
So we're right on the red rocks. It's about a half a mile walk into these red rock caverns, which are absolutely stunning.
Yes.
For me, I've done soul walks in Sedona, and oh my goodness, just the actualizations and this. I've had amazing meditations and really powerful insights in the energy of the red rock.
Yeah.
And
yeah. It's one of those things that we as women have that uniqueness within us to understand and to connect to other people, to ourselves, and to nature, because we are nurturers. And yet part of our greatest gift and our greatest challenge is that we're nurturers. We have that tendency to nurture everyone else and forget about ourselves, which only depletes us, and we get exhausted, and we could go on from that. And this is why having this vortex of the healing energy of these red rocks, and I equate it to the red clay in Georgia, because I know how good that is, that it's just going to be beautiful, and nature itself. We will have some time in a classroom, but it won't be your typical, classroom setting. And it will be some very experiential things that will help to shift and to change you. But there's that nice mix of being out in nature and being in a classroom and allowing also time for you. That is one of the things we want to make sure that you understand is you will have some time for reflection, for you to do some of your own self-care, whether it's a spa activity for yourself or journaling or just the swimming pool or exercise or some of the cooking demonstrations that's at this wonderful resort, that everything is included except for extra spa treatments that you can treat yourself with. But there's so many things. I mean, you get 5 nights, 6 days, all your food, no alcohol. We're not paying for that. Sorry. The experiences that you're going to go through, even a Tai Chi on the rocks, we have a special fire ceremony with a shaman. I mean, who doesn't want to experience something like that?
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is just kind of get yourself there. And Dixie and I will take care of the rest of it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the facility is absolutely outstanding. If you had a chance to go to our website, or even go to Red Mountain's website, it's stunning views. It's surrounded, like literally surrounded by the red rocks. And as I've been sharing this out with people, like, oh my goodness, I've heard about that place, and it's been on my bucket list.
Yes.
So if this is on your bucket list, you really need to make this a priority for yourself this year, if you can, because this is just a year of elevation. It's a year of, 2018 really is going to be it's a shifting gears year. I think there's been a lot of, we touched on 2017, where I would describe it as a tumultuous year for a lot of people. It's a very churning year. And it's like, the roots all of the roots, everything has been churned up to the surface to be healed. So we're looking at a lot of the shadow work. We're looking at a lot of family dynamics. We're looking at we're seeing it in politics. We're seeing it in oil and gas industry. We're seeing it in almost every industry, where the old way of doing business and the old way of participating really is not serving anymore. And so we have to start doing it from a different way. And it's a great way to transplant yourself, literally, into new soil, but in a new, expansive way for you to actually grow into a new way of being. And that's really what 2017 is. It's like that churning, bringing everything up to the surface. And now we get to take with us what does serve us, and we get to replant ourselves into something that's completely different. And that really is also what this retreat is about. And we talked about, will this help my business? Will it help my career? Absolutely, on every level. And I think that is one of the core pieces. All of us have education. We have education up we have certifications, tons of education, university degrees. We have enough knowledge and information. It's now we need to start working on our spiritual self.
Right.
And any leader that I know, and I'm hearing it even from some of my other business coaches, is like, you know what, Dixie, for the first time, I've started investing more in my spiritual aspects of my life. And it's like, yes, this is the time. And a lot of my clients too, a lot of friends have been asking, I'm looking for more of a spiritual retreat. And so this is really what this is. It's all encompassing. It's everything. And your business will grow when you invest in yourself. Your relationships will shift when you invest in yourself. Your career will go in a different direction. And it's unimaginable sometimes, because as I mentioned before, I've taken these last couple of years to really invest in myself beyond just getting more certifications, which I am always working on myself, both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I think we need to have that combination and that really is what success to me is that when we are equal in all of those capacities of our life, then we get to expand in ways that not even imaginable. Because different opportunities and different experiences come to us when we expand outside of our comfort zones.
And so just to kind of add on to that, and I love it, this 2018, and I know enough about numerology to make me dangerous, but not an expert, so I'll just tell you that. But 2018 is the year, it's a master number, it's an 11. So the energy of that 11 and being a high vibrational energy is where we want to bring ourselves into it with love and compassion. As Dixie said, will it help your business? Of course it will. Will it help your career? Of course it will. And one of the key things it's going to help the most with is your relationships. And your key relationship is with yourself. And that's in your business. That is totally it. And it always begins with your mindset. And that's where I and Dixie also, it's about that connecting of your heart and your head together, because for so long we've kind of shut off a part of us in our heart. Our heart will bubble up and say, oh my God, I want to do this. And the head goes, no, I don't think so. You might get hurt. We don't want to go there. And so it just begins to shut it down to where you have this pain that you literally don't know what to do with, this emptiness or this void or whatever within your heart that's basically says, I'm hurting, and you don't know how to explain it to anyone. And that's the key with the work that Dixie and I do, is to bring you back to that alignment, to the love and compassion for yourself, which then just opens you up to so much more in life, period. And that's what this is about. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this too, in that some of the things, I mean, there's so many things that we're going to be doing that we can't even list it all here. It will be fun, and it will be healing, and it will be energetic. And some of you have said, you know, wow, the time, the money, etc. I'm not really sure. And yet this is your choice. This is your moment. How important are you to take time for yourself, to invest in yourself? And if it's not this one, then choose something else. But I'm going to tell you that this one is going to change your life, because that's the work that Dixie and I do, is changing lives, transforming from the inside out.
Absolutely. Thank you, Denise. That's beautiful. And you know, why Red Mountain Resort? We kind of talked about that, where, I mean, there's so much healing. It's just as Denise said, it's a vortex, right? It's this powerful vortex energy, where, I mean, I'm going to use the word magic. I love playing in magic. But there really is something that happens there. It's a #1 resort. It's highly regarded and like worldwide. It is a retreat center. So it is all about nourishing from the inside out.
Right.
From the delicious food that is provided and included, all the meals, really healthy food. You know, if you have dietary restrictions, they're more than happy to accommodate. But it's also, there's swimming pools, there's amenities, there's extra time for you to go and have some spa sessions. And, you know, I'll also be there offering, you know, we'll be doing healing activations as well. But there's also, you know, there might be some cranial sacral in the water. There might be some different things. So as I'm there, I'm available, right? And as is Denise. And so, you know, this is so exciting. I'm so excited to do this. And especially to partner with Denise as well. And so we have a lot of our values are in alignment. We've had lots of conversations. And I think, you know, we're really complementary to each other. We have a lot of similar training in a lot of areas. And yet we're very different. And yet we pulled it together, I think, in a really nice and beautiful way. So you'll be beautifully supported on all levels. And there's going to be masterminding, definitely. And that's often what happens when you come together collectively. And, you know, lifelong friends definitely is an absolute yes. You know, it's when people come together, especially at this level, you can't help but become connected at the soul level. Because it's your soul's yearning, it's your soul's calling that is even directing you to be in this experience, even on this call, or even connected in, you know, looking at it. You know, there's something that's guiding you to go and look at it. So I encourage you to listen to that call.
And one other thing I want to express, Dixie, is, guys, it doesn't stop after this week.
Absolutely.
You're going to be in a Facebook group. We're also going to have a couple of conference calls for the first 30 days that you're back, so you can stay grounded in it. You may come up with a couple of challenges that you want to have our insight into it. We will make sure that you're taken care of. So it's this week is just the beginning for the rest of your life, and that's your choice.
Yeah, absolutely. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And so, we have a couple of bonuses. So we'd have 2 payment plans. One is to pay in full. And for any of you who do decide that you want to be a part of this and can pay in full, there's a bit of a discount offered there. And Not only that, but you'll get Denise and I in 2 private calls, which is invaluable, really. You'll get both of us to yourself, and you'll also get to join us for dinner, a group dinner, and where we'll have an opportunity to go deeper and to mastermind in a really brilliant and powerful way. And then for those of you who do need a payment plan option, we have that as well. And so, all you need to come up with initially is a deposit.
Right.
And the rest, the biggest thing is in saying yes. Like, if you feel that this is if you feel like you're being leaned in, you're coming into this and your heart is saying yes and your head's maybe saying no, sit with it for a moment and just really lean in and see what your heart wants you to do. Yep. Because this is an absolute yes. And, if you're here and you're listening to this and listening to our message, there's no accident that you're here, and there's no accident that you're guided here. So I invite you to really listen to that part of yourself. And, it will be absolutely amazing and would be my honor. And Denise, I'm not speaking for you, but take you through this journey. And, it will be an intimate group. And I'm so excited to see who will be saying yes. Because 2018 really is a shifting gears year. And this is definitely a recipe that you want to put in for yourself. To elevate yourself. And, as our keywords, our topics are awaken, is to, listen to that part of yourself that needs to awaken and accept that part of yourself that knows that you need to transform, or that you need to do something a little bit different. And the activation is that it will become embodied. You will not be the same person when you leave this experience. And anytime you invest in yourself, you will never come out the same person, because you're growing. And I have to say that I think that's one of the biggest things my clients always tell me. Dixie, I love being on this journey with you. I love your stories. I love seeing you grow. But every time I grow, my clients are growing with me. Right? Totally. And I think that's one of the most important things, whether you're a business coach, whether you're a spiritual healer, whether you're in the healing arts, whether you're a chiropractor, on your career path, whatever that is, it's the most important work is when you invest in yourself.
Right. And let me also say this. Thank you, Dixie. That was beautiful. But your career path may be that you've transitioned into retirement. And that's a whole different story of how do you live your life. And that's the beauty of what we'll do here. Dixie said it. It's awaken, accept, activate for abundance. And abundance comes in so many different forms. So she laid out the payment plans for you. The key is saying yes now to yourself. This is what you want. And just email Dixie or myself. We're great manifestors. We'll give you some ideas and healing energy to help you manifest the money if that's part of it, or the time or the energy, because it's not just about the money. It's you choosing you to be a different person and to make 2018 the most fantastic life and year of your life that you've ever had. And I think that pretty much sums it up, because I can't wait to see everybody there.
Absolutely.
Yay.
No, it's exciting. So I think that's
got it. Yay.
And if you do have any further questions, please reach out to Denise or myself, and we're more than happy to have a discussion with you to make sure that this is a right fit for you. And look forward to hearing from you soon.
Ditto. See you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Bye. Okay.
Bye.